Hello community, as you know a couple of days ago I posted a video called Freelancer Map Tier List. And of course I went through my gallery and realized I had most maps already recorded, so in order to make the video more interesting and fun to watch, I would show gameplay of every map while I talked about it. There was a couple of maps that I didn't have footage for, amongst them were Colorado, Haven Island, and Hokkaido. It was almost midnight, so not wanting to ruin my sleep by getting angry and wanting to have an easier time, I decided to do Hokkaido quickly and finish the rest of them tomorrow morning. The only real doable optional objective was Silent Assassin, so I took it and headed off. Much like a cheerleader in a horror flick, I was blissfully unaware of what awaited me. But now that I do know, I will warn you, this footage is disturbing. For those of you whose courage wavers, you may wish to click off now. For the rest, let's go. My first attempt was rather silly. I started out thinking I was gonna do a Silent Assassin suit only. I thought to myself, I'm the greatest Hitman player that's ever lived. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as you're about to see, a lot. First of all, I rushed past the easiest disguise in the world to make my way down to the nearest target, and immediately as I come down the pipe, I shoot the camera and lose my very first objective. Less than a minute in, things are already going south. So I decided, well, no big deal, let's just try to shadow my target and look for an opportunity. But it appears my ninja skills weren't up to par, as I end up getting my ass caught and practically destroying the compare barely a minute in. I mean, what an embarrassment straight out of the gate. I mean, I can't even blame the map on this one. It's starter than a virgin pussy and overfilled with armed guards. How did I ever think I was gonna get away with a suit only this easily? So I did the ultimate pro gamer move. Alt F4 and tried again. My arrogance had already failed me once, so I decided to switch the main objective to Silent Assassin no firearms and take my time to prepare properly. I immediately rushed into the small room behind the sauna and knocked out the guard to get a free disguise change. Then made my way to the security room. My plan was actually quite genius. I would take care of the first objective by knocking out all of the guards there and deleting the evidence. With the cameras now gone, I could move freely. Plus, I grabbed an electric key hacker just in case and proceeded to move to my closest target, which this time was the pink cowboy. But as I headed out, I yet again made a horrific mistake. I exited from the wrong freaking door. And just like that, 2 minutes and the run had already went down the drain. 2 fails, and we hadn't even killed a single target yet. But that would all change come run number 3. You see, I did the same start as before, took a disguise and made my way to the security room to knock out the guards silently and get the challenge, as well as getting rid of the evidence, so then I could move to the lower levels. I decided since the guard target was by far the hardest, I was going to go after him first, and so I did. I took an elite disguise to lower enforcers and made my way out. I sat right behind a rock and awaited him. Then I threw a quick point distraction behind it and made sure to drop a pistol as well. The reason for it is because I knew his body would be found, so a little syringe was the only way to go. However, a point distraction will have him turning to the left and right to look, which can result in him spotting me and ruining my run. So by planting the weapon, he would be looking in one direction, allowing me easily to sneak up behind and prick him. With him out of the way, the cowboy was next. I had one more lethal syringe, and seeing how he was completely isolated, I decided to go for it. And of course, the shitty map decided to have me spotted by the doctors down below. Though this was complete and utter bollock, I was able to keep my composure. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? How the fuck does that even happen? What the fuck was that? So I took a small time to regain my composure and tried again. This time I had a successful strategy. I knew what I was doing. All I had to do was put it together. So here we go again. Take a disguise from the first guard, make your way to the security room to knock out all the guards and delete the evidence, as well as grabbing the electronic key hacker. Then go downstairs, grab an elite disguise, and use the coin pistol / syringe strategy to take down the guard target. So far, no difference. The strategy was working. So I made my way back to Dexter, but this time I snuck behind him and used the Seeker to isolate him in the bathroom. There, I was able to take care of yet another challenge and hide his body to make sure I can save my Silent Assassin. I had one target to go. What could possibly go wrong? He was in the sushi area, not the easiest place to isolate someone, especially when they are an enforcer. So I took out my seeker again and just waited for an opportunity. And waited, and waited, and waited, and waited. So finally, as he made his way onto the sitting area, I prepared my shot, and just like that, I missed it. I lost both Perfect Shooter and Sound Assassin, even though nobody witnessed me, as there were no witnesses or anything. Just the guy in front heard the sound, that's it. Plus, the sticker is not a firearm. I used it earlier and kept Sound Assassin, yet here, he took it away. You would imagine this really angered me, but in reality, we were past the point of anger. This was more of a Joker moment where you would just stare and laugh at what the fuck just happened. It's a moment where I truly believe part of my sanity disappeared.
You know what really makes me laugh? I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a fucking comedy.
But I was too far in. It was 2 in the morning, but I just couldn't give up. I knew, had I gone to bed, I wouldn't be able to get any sleep. So I just kept going. Starting my 5th attempt, I decided to do something different. Remember earlier where I said that it's important to have a plan and stick to it in order to succeed? Well, now you're about to find out what happens when you throw caution to the wind and just go for it. Take disguise, knock out guard, delete evidence, then go downstairs, take better disguise, and go after guard. But this time, because of my repetition, I was faster than usual, so I decided that instead of waiting around for him near the rock area, I was just gonna throw a coin and little syringe him. Sadly, my coin decided to bounce back, and as I went for the syringe, we ended up in a fight instead. I did knock his bitch ass out, but his buddies upstairs, of course, saw everything and started shooting. And just like that, I had reached my 6th fail. That's right, 6, not 5, because what I didn't show you yet was that before, I had tried again, but got caught by a guard in the stupidest way imaginable, and had to restart. So technically, this is number 6. You see, this is where most people throw in the towel, but not for me. It was 2 in the morning and it was too late to look back. I was finishing this one way or the other. So I took out all of my needed gear and all of my successful strategies so far, and it was time for round 7. Everything was business as usual until I reached the 3rd target. Since I had failed earlier with the Seeker, I saw he was eating one of those bowls with rice cakes, so I made my way into the kitchen and distracted one of the chefs. Then I took cover and shot a tranquilizer dart to make sure I limit any chances of things going south. He fell sideways away from the guard's view, and I was able to take his disguise and get free rat poison as well. Then, as I made my way up the stairs, disaster! There was an enforcer on top of the stairs looking at me. I was sure that was it. But as I turned around and ran away, I somehow miraculously was able to get away with it. I felt like a miracle had just happened. Clearly, this was my chance to finish this. I had a disguise and poison. All I needed to do was plant it. And then, all I had to do was wait. And here he was, the target, that had been eluding me for hours. I finally got my hands on that little rat and drowned his ass in the toilet. That was it. The mission was complete. All I had to do was make my way out. I had an enforcer looking from one side, the director coming from the other. So I waited, and as soon as he reached the bar, I went for it.
What the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I shot him. The thing is, okay, he was right.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Sometimes the most fun way to play Freelancer is to not play Freelancer. So I went back to what I do best, battering with a bunch of blokes on motorcycles on a circuit I can't even pronounce. So you're probably wondering, why did I decide to post this? Well, it's simple. They say that sometimes one bad day is all it takes to change a person. and I'm hopeful that I was able to share the insanity that Freelancer can put you through when aiming for perfection. Maybe that's the thing about Freelancer, it's not meant to be played perfectly. Mistakes are part of the process, and sometimes it's better to accept defeat once and move on than repeat it 7 times only to end up in the exact same place. Press a like if you enjoyed, though I can't see how you would have. Subscribe for more content, which hopefully will be more enjoyable, at least for me. And more than anything else, thank you very much for watching.